for it to load up. All right, you're on.
Hello, everyone. It's March the 1st, I think. Can you believe it? March the 1st. Friday. A lot of stuff's going on that we're not hearing about, of course. One thing that troubles me is the blackout that we seem to have with the trouble between Pakistan and India. That troubles me. So that you know what it's about. There is a region that is the Kashmir strip of land. India thinks it belongs to them. Pakistan thinks it belongs to them. And the Pashtun protect it. And the Pashtun are fairly independent. They just take care of theirs. So that's going on. The problem with that one is, and that's why I'm concerned about it, but there seems to be zero concern from the media, is both Pakistan and India have nukes. And if they get into a real war, Lord knows what would happen. So we need to be conscious of that and worried about that. Another thing that's worrying me is North Korea. It may just be that Kim Jong-un is to the point where, in the interest of retaliating against President Trump, keeping on the sanctions, there's a good chance that he'll resume some of his shooting off missiles. I think it's smart enough to see that Trump is hated by the media here in America. And he knows, I think, that if he were to push this feud, that the media would be all over Trump. And you see, this is the problem. Someone like Kim Jong-un can use our media to put pressure on President Trump. I do hope, we should all hope, that President Trump stays the course. He need not let up on North Korea. Because if he does, that region will lose in the end. I don't know if many of you know the background to North Korea having nuclear weapons. But, excuse me for coughing in your ear, but North Korea is a nuclear country now, thanks to one American president, Bill Clinton. In his attempt to try to come up with some sort of peace plan, he was going to give them a power system. Now, I'm simplifying it, of course, but there's two types of systems he could have given them. One did not allow for the development of nuclear technology and weapons. The other one did. Well, Bill Clinton gave to North Korea the equipment, the technology, the know-how to become a nuclear power country. So you see, we're fighting a battle that should never have been started. Back then, everybody knew it wasn't Kim Jong-un, it was his father, but everybody knew that was not the kind of country he wanted to make that kind of deal with, but he did. So thank you, Bill Clinton, for the mess we're in. I hope Kim Jong-un realizes that President Trump is not going to buckle down. He's not the kind of person to buckle under pressure. But I'm sure, thanks to the media, that temptation is there for Kim Jong-un. So folks, watch for that. Watch for him to step up some of his activities trying to put pressure on Trump to remove some of the sanctions, or maybe all of them. North Korea is a different country than any of us can even imagine. It's a way of life that the good news is China, thanks to the leverage President Trump is putting on China and the sanctions and tariffs that he's placed on them, we have someone that can help and is helping, I believe, in this relationship. So Trump's playing it straight. I want all of you to know he's playing it the best that I can imagine anybody playing it. And again, all I can say is thank God that we have President Trump for president. Because very few other men or women that I know that would be in line to be president of the United States would dare to stand as firm and as solidly as President Trump did. Now that brings us back home. You know, Cohen got outsmarted, as is the case with the Democrats over and over and over again. They use you. This is vintage Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. They use you. And then when they don't need you anymore, they write you off. Well, they took Cohen, had him go in to Congress, had him go in and say the things that he did to advance smearing President Trump. But the problem was he lied. He lied to Congress again. So Mark Meadows and somebody else, can't remember who it was, they had filed a referral to the Department of Justice to have him prosecuted for lying to Congress. Now, folks, if the DOJ prosecutes Cohen, he's going to be in big trouble, big time trouble. Because if he goes in front of a judge a second time for lying to Congress, the judge will have no compassion and show very little, if any, leniency to him. He could be looking at a severe jail term added on to the one he's already got. And I'm sure he's sitting back now thanking the Democrats for that great opportunity to get him in front of the public so that he could state his case, try to reinvent himself. But he sure got himself in the news. And when I think of him being President Trump's personal attorney, I've got to say, I think President Trump made a mistake there, because if he truly is an attorney, which he is, and he didn't have enough sense to stay out of this trap, he's not much of an attorney, not much of one at all. This is how it's played. And this is all going to lead up to one thing and one thing only, folks. That's impeachment for President Trump. And I've talked about it. I talked about President Trump being impeached before he ever set foot and took office. I did. I knew it was coming. I knew they had their plans. They had to get rid of it. So they're going to impeach him. But here's the trick they're playing. They really don't want it to come to the impeachment hearing. Not yet. They don't want that hearing right now. That's why they're dragging their feet, or they'd already do it. You see, their opinion is, and I must agree with it to some degree, that there's never been a president of the United States to get reelected while under the threat of impeachment. There never has been. This would be a first. And they might be right. The media, the way it is, and how they will stay on it, and just about nothing else will be heard of or heard from, can really hurt the public opinion of President Trump. And more importantly, secondly, it can allow for people to prejudge the election. And what I'm talking about is Trump's base. You know, I've explained to you on another program that Trump's base, as is the Democrat base, made up of a hard base and a soft base. Let me explain again. Hard base for Trump are the people that are out there that will vote for President Trump no matter what. No matter what happens, they would vote for. The soft base is the group of people that would vote for President Trump. They're inclined to vote for Trump. They're not most probably going to vote for a Democrat. They're not going to vote Democratic. But the risk is, if they think President Trump cannot win, they will not go out and vote. Trump loses. The same holds true with the Democrats. They've got a hard base. They've got to get their soft base to come out. And if they don't, they lose. This is the first election for president I've ever even heard of where the race gets down not to the soft base for both parties versus the 20% undecided. Remember the 40-40-20 formula. 40% love you, 40% hate you, and 20% don't care. Or they're called undecided by the media. In this election, 20% that don't care or undecided, albeit important, they are. But more important is what each side has to do to activate and motivate their base. And as I've told you, the two biggest factors in motivating people to vote is simple. Two things. When it hits their pocketbook and fear. Pocketbook and fear. Now, Trump, thanks to what he's done, has helped the pocketbook of many millions of Americans. So you would think in that category he's safe. Well, the problem is the media covers it up and never tells the truth about it. The public may not be as keenly aware of what President Trump has done to help their pocketbooks. Fear. Fear is the thing that we've got to go with. And remember, the Democrats are doing the same thing. Democrats are doing the very same thing. Pocketbook. Why do you think they're doing all the freebie stuff? Free healthcare, free college, reparation. Everybody gets everything free. That's their attention to the pocketbook part. The fear they keep trying to drive home is that Trump is a corrupt, evil dictator trying to take over our country and become king. That's what they're using. We can't do anything about what the Democrats are doing, but we can work on our people, the soft base. And generally, the hard base is about 40% of the total, and 60% to the soft base from both parties. We have got to tell the truth. You see, that's kind of our problem. The Democrats can lie. They can lie about everything, anything they want to. The media will cover for them. President Trump and his campaign, or us, or anybody supporting Trump, if we were to go out lying about things, the media will expose us in a second and make it harder on Trump. So we have to tell the truth. That's where never socialism comes in. It has never been more true in this country than it is today, that we are at the turning point where we could absolutely transform our government from a representative republic representative republic form of government to socialism with air. We're at the culmination of 50 to 75 years, or even maybe longer, for the powers of the world working and steadily working to try to get America to fall. We're here. They've got in place what they need. They've got the money. They've got the media. They've got the Democrats lining up to do whatever it takes to win. And then they've got the first complete generation, millennials, an entire generation of people that are now voting age, that have gone through the social engineering structure from the day they walked into kindergarten or wherever they started until the day they left college. Social engineering, better known as brainwashing. They have truly been brainwashed. They do not fear socialism. They don't. And in their lack of fear, they almost believe it's better than what we have, capitalism. They think it's better. You see, socialism seems like a lazy person's dream. You don't have to have ambition in a socialist society. You don't have to have ambition. Because if you do, you're a fool. You can work 10 times harder than the person next to you. And they're going to make the same thing you do. You're going to make the same thing they do. And in that environment, it doesn't take long until people realize, well, why should I work hard? Why should I try? It's not going to matter. Then, thanks to all of the years of social engineering, they're sitting there and seeing that everything, they're being told everything can come to them free. And they believe it. There's an incredible number of people in this country. The number will scare you. I don't know what it is, but it would scare you. Of the number of people that truly believe that if our government wants to do anything that costs money, it can just print money. That all of this stuff about having to raise money, they believe that's nuts, that's crazy, that's not true. They believe that all you got to do in America, all our government's got to do is just print money. Therefore, everything should be free. Isn't that crazy? I mean, you'd think people that have gone through all the years of school, gone to college, would be able to think more clearly than that, that they're not, they don't. That's where we come in. And see, that's the bad news for us. We're having to tell people the bad news. We're having to bring to them reality. They don't want to hear reality. They don't want reality. They want to believe in the sugar plum dreams being put out by the Democrats or anybody that's telling them everything can come free. It's what they want to believe. It's what they will believe. So that makes our job extra hard. Extra hard. But this is not the time to back down. Just because it's complicated. Just because it seems as though we're paddling upstream instead of going with the flow. We have to do it. It's contingent upon us doing it. We've got to do it. And that's what I will try to do with this program here with y'all. Each day, 5 days a week, that I can. I'm here to try to help you learn the inside the politics stuff that some of you may already know. Some of you may know some of it. And it may be boring. But I've talked to enough people where I know that it's helpful for a lot of people to understand the ins and outs set up and how it's working and how it can destroy us. This is our time. This is the time when we're strong. Prove it. It's one thing to say you're strong. It's one thing to claim your strength. But this is the time when we prove it. And by the same token, it's easy to claim you're a patriot. It's easy to claim that you're an American and that you'll fight for this country no matter what. Well, this is the time we got to prove it. So, folks, get ready. This is Friday. We got a weekend coming up. You got to get mentally ready. Things are going to come. Some are going to be good. Some aren't going to be good. I can tell you this, that there's reason to believe, I'll put it that way, there's reason to believe that sometime in the next 3 to 4 weeks, you will see a handful, not many, not 60,000, you'll see a handful of indictments passed down, looking into some of the low-level players of Uranium One and the Clinton Foundation. And for the first time, we're going to see that start. That's the good news. The bad news is they're going to start in the next 3 to 4 weeks. The minute they do that, the minute or proceeds with that, you will know that's almost exactly the day that the Democrats will start the impeachment process. Be ready. We have to battle impeachment with never socialism. We have to get people's eyes on the real target, the real thing, and that is how close we are and how vulnerable we are to socialism right now. Pretty soon, in the next few days, I will not be surprised if we don't see Venezuela blow up. And I'm talking about mass killings. It's coming. That nation like ours is at a transition. They let their freedom go in the past. And they chose socialism over democracy. They did. They're paying for it today. And to change it back, to get it back to a democratic form of government for them, I'm sorry to say there's no way it's going to go in blood. That's why we can never allow to have it happen here. We can't. When you see the people dying in Venezuela the way they will, you'll never want that to happen here. Now, we have placed 40% sanctions on Venezuela oil, 40 more percent on their oil, which is their cash revenue, their cash crop, so to speak. Fidel has to have that so he can pay his army. As long as he's got the army, he's got power. But he knows if he can't pay his army, he will lose that power. And that's why when we put on this additional burden on them for their oil revenue, there's a good chance we'll start seeing the bloodshed. He's already stopping everywhere he can, any way he can, humanitarian aid even coming to people of Venezuela. Think about that. All we're trying to do is get humanitarian aid, food, medicine, stuff to them, water. He's blocking it. When you do that, people are going to have enough, and it's going to get violent. That's your picture. That's your nightmare that you need to use to prove to people we don't want to go that way. We do not want to go that way. That's why I say with so much Republicans are, I don't care what it is. Never socialism here. Her and her type of new people in Washington, they're a serious threat. They're a threat to our form of government. They are. They truly, truly are. But they've got a lot of support. From where? The first generation, first complete generation. Because the first complete generation didn't know to be afraid of what they're pitching. We've got to make them see it. We've got to make them understand. So now, I wish I could tell you it'd be easy, but I can't. So I'm talking a little more, Mary Ellen, if you will. Y'all can start asking questions, sending them in to Mary Ellen. And we'll try to answer as many as we can today before our voice goes. But y'all understand the magnitude of where we're at, what we're up against. Now remember these two things. Very soon, next few weeks, there will be indictments for a handful, not many, but a handful of people having to do with the Clinton Foundation and uranium one. Now, when that happens, remember, be ready, because when they do that, the Democrats will go full run into impeachment. They've got everything they need right now to impeach President Trump. No, there's nothing serious that he's done. No, it's not real. But it doesn't have to be with these people. It doesn't have to be real. They're not bound by the law of having to have something, proof. They're not bound by that. They rule by the accusation. Their law is the accusation, condemns you, and puts you in a worse prison than jail. Be looking for it, it's coming. I wish I could tell you that the Mueller case is not going to produce anything. Let me say this. I don't believe Mueller is going to come forward from his investigation with one thing having to do with Russia. I don't. I might be wrong. And they put a lot of emphasis on the meeting in the Trump Towers with that Russian lawyer. So they may be able to niggle away to make it look that way. But in reality, there's no collusion. In reality, everybody knows there's no collusion with the Trump administration or his campaign with Russia. So if we know that, then why am I telling you that Mueller's going to come out with something? Most probably. This is my opinion, guys. My opinion, so take it for what it's worth. Mueller has spent millions and millions of our taxpayers' money. 2 years or better, as long as it's been 2 years to investigate it. I know these people. I know most of his team. We have met or worked together along the way throughout the years. They're not going to go through all of this trouble and come up with anything. It's just not. They're not that way. They go find something. Most probably it'd be in the area of financial stuff, tax evasion or something. But they'll come up with something. They just don't go this long, spend this much taxpayers' money, have this much notoriety in the media for as long as they've had it, and to come up with zip. It would make them look like fools, and they don't like being made to look like fools. And don't forget Mueller, Comey, Rosenstein, Strzok, that whole crew, or the whole bunch. They're all in the same group of people. They're buddies. there's not much of a chance Mueller's going to come out of his investigation with no recommendation to prosecute Trump. He will. But even if he doesn't, I assure you he will come out with enough justification for Adam Schiff, to use his committee to head up an impeachment. Be ready. Be ready. And please know, please repeat this, we will fight what they come out with the truth. Now, there's a lot going on the internet. There are a lot of people based off, they've got contacts and they've got sources. And of course, they can't tell you, but they've got high-level sources and they're putting out all manner of stories. The majority, nearly all, are as bogus as a $3 bill. I can't tell you if they're doing it to be misinformation on purpose. I can't tell you if they're doing it just to see how big an audience they can grow. I don't know if it's money. You know, a lot of those people with the programs that have YouTube, if they've got so many people watching, supposedly they make money. And maybe that's some way to draw a crowd so that you can make money. I don't do that. I have to count on y'all. And were it not for a couple of three key people, I wouldn't be in that. And those people, I think they know who I'm talking about. I thank you, and I want you to know, even though your country may not know what you're doing, your country thanks you if they knew. When all is said and done, when this is all over, if we win, those of you that have helped, you probably won't get a medal. They never even be acknowledged. But you were there, and I appreciate you more than you ever know. That's to all of you guys helped. So, Mary Ellen, have you got any questions before my voice completely goes?
Is there a way for us to demand the tax records of every member of Congress?
No. No. They should have already been turned in. But no, we have no right or authority to demand it.
So somebody's seen them because they have to show them to get into office?
Right. Yep.
But it's not public knowledge, so we have no access.
It's technically, I guess it's public, just like Trump. The Democrats are raising game saying Trump needed to release all of his tax information, his personal tax information. He has not done it yet. That's one for the court to decide whether he's got to or not. But in most cases with our politicians, in their forms that they fill out to run for office, their personal wealth, assets, etc., basically their income and everything is laid out for us to see.
And somebody's when it's time to rise up, somebody's suggesting a yellow vest protest.
Well, I would go along with that, except one problem. We don't seem to have the ability with our people that the conservative people, they're generally older. They're more quiet, and I don't believe the turnout would be huge. And it's something like the yellow vest. What makes it significant is you have to have massive turnout. I am yet to see our side get that motivated, that active. Now, I so much, telling everybody what I did, that there's no support. Our 60% soft base, many of them will crop out in a hole and they won't come out. They won't vote. What else you got?
That's all the questions today, Larry. I just want everybody to remember Larry's got the weekend where he's not here, and he could certainly use some financial help over the weekend for what he needs to continue to do. And his PayPal is nicholslive@aol.com. That's his account, nicholslive@aol.com on PayPal. The website, nicholslive.com, has the t-shirts available now. And we have bumper stickers coming next week that will be available as well. It's say Never Socialism.
Let me tell you, Mariana, let me tell you, the t-shirts I have seen, they're incredible. They're everything we had hoped for. When you say, Mariana, I've just seen pictures. I won't see the real shirt until tomorrow, but you've seen the same pictures that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Are you impressed? I mean, did they not come out looking great?
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah. Right now we've got them in black and white. We ordered a few extras, so there are some available. Not many, but otherwise we'll take names and payments and get ready to place another order. The first order has been shipped as far as I know. We've got a group that are meeting this weekend in Texas that are getting the shirts, and this is a great way for us to promote this slogan, promote this whole concept, and start conversations wherever you wear it so people can be aware. We need to take this information Larry's giving us and not just keep it for head knowledge for ourselves. We've got to share this. This is important for people to know. And please invite people to this YouTube channel to hear Larry. Do you plan next week, if you're able, to continue doing it at this time every day?
I like it if everybody else does. If it helps people.
Okay. Here's okay, two comments here. One comment: my family's from Arkansas, God-fearing Trump supporters. They appreciate the sacrifices made by Mr. Nichols. And here's a question. Larry, have you ever sat in a truck stop cafe back in 95 or 96 telling a trucker about all you did for the Clintons? If so,
Yes.
All right, well, he's listening to you today.
Hello, buddy. I can't remember your name, but yes, I remember very well. It was great to be with you. It really was. Back then, yes, sir.
He said in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Mm-hmm. He's a dandy.
So welcome, Kip's Journey. Glad to have you in the chat.
Nice to have you with the group. Please come back. I want to ask you if you're still in the trucking business. Or if you retired.
You can type that answer in, Kip. He said, I saw the bear on the sleeve, just like you said. Whatever that means.
Well, folks, there's not a lot of us, but there are enough of us.
We've got 43 in the chat today, Larry.
Good. Do not be confused by the numbers. Number one, I don't know anymore if YouTube's actually reporting the numbers correctly. I've had several people that have YouTube channels tell me that their numbers have been twiddled with. But here we're not into the numbers. We're here for information. I'm trying to give you everything I've got. I'm trying to tell you every trick I know. Hopefully, you'll be able to use it. That's why the shirts, that's why I worked so hard to design that shirt. I want the shirt to stand out in the crowd. And one of the hardest things for us to do, any of us on the program right now, the hardest thing is how do you get started with a conversation with somebody you don't even know? Well, hopefully the the shirt will be the icebreaker. Hopefully, when you wear the shirt proudly, somebody come up and say, hey, you know, something. You'll say something about the shirt that will give you a chance to have the dialogue and to start the exchange. That's why the design is technically called a dynamic design. It's designed to jump out and grab somebody. And I assure you, if you're in a crowd and they can all t-shirts on that have various and sundry logos, emblems, and sayings, etc., this logo will catch their eye. It will. Wear it. Get it. Wear it. Anybody else?
Nope, that's it.
Comment?
I'll tell you what Kip said about, you asked if he was retired. I'll tell you that off air. His answer.
Well, folks, with that, we're done for this week. I do need any of you that can, please, if it's just $1, if it's $5 today, will you please send something to PayPal for me, please? Normally, very little comes in. So today, I hope more people will actually help. But it's Nichols Live, AOL.com on PayPal. And it can be $1, it can be $5. I'd love for it to be $1,000 for some people, but $1 is the same. It just shows you believe, and it shows that you're in the game with us. And with that, folks, Mary Ellen, thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you want to wrap it up, I guess I'm done, folks. Have a good weekend, Mary Ellen.
All right. I'm going to read what Kip said. So we all know the bear on the sleeve of the drivers of trucks represented the Russian troops moving equipment on U.S. soil. So, all right. Thanks, Larry, and thanks everybody. We're going to wrap it up now, and we'll be together again on Monday at the same time. Thank you. Bye.